Dragons in the skies, fire from the boughs, wisdom flowing fast, ancient temples bow, mountains echo tales, ancestors crying loud, heroes of the past, legends worn proud. On golden silk roads, history unfolds, mystics in the night, secrets they hold, great walls shadow long, warriors in rows, in the courtyard's light, a lotus flower grows. Orchids in the wind, laughter from the light, truth within the sand, sin is bathed in might. Tigers leap through time, rivers serpentine, harmony and chaos living by design. Phoenix rise anew, feathers burning blue, forest whisper soft, mind open and true. Scrolls of hidden art, sages they confide, speaking of the jade, time won't divide. Battles lost and won, emperors do reign, people marching on, dreams still remain. Peasant to the king, stories intertwined, every single soul walking a fine line. Orchids in the wind, laughter from the light, truth within the sand, sin is bathed in might. Tigers leap through time, rivers serpentine, harmony and chaos living by design.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am the dust at the feet of God's servants. Only God is special. How is everyone doing this beautiful, beautiful Friday evening? It's Friday. I hope you guys are doing well, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Welcome back, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about free will versus determinism. Hopefully this should clear up any misconceptions or misunderstandings, because typically it's either free will or determinism. That's typically the argument. Is it you have full reign over your life, or is it that God is making everything happen and you have no free will and no choice in what happens? So a lot of people tend to argue these philosophical questions and try to get to the bottom of it. And I thought I can this is something I've been planning on doing for a long time. I've been wanting to do this stream for a long time, but I wanted to wait for the right time, and I think this is it. I think this is the right time. So yeah, we're doing free will versus determinism. Wow. Suvi's in the chat. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Says evening all, and D, welcome, thank you. Evenings, good evenings. Cool. So we're going to be talking about free will versus determinism. So let's start off with this. Free will says that you can make choices. Okay? Free will says you can make choices. Determinism says all the choices have already been made. You're just living through it. You have no choice. The choices have been made. They're set in stone. You're just going through the motions. Now, I'm going to explain it as simply as I can, and I think we should be able to wrap this up in less than 5 minutes. Not me being big-headed, it's just that the truth is so simple yet accurate that it doesn't need further explanation. Once you get it, you get it, and it should hopefully end this debate for the people that find that. See, this is one of the things I don't think is very important to your daily life, whether the philosophical question about whether it's free will or determinism doesn't affect your day-to-day life. You'd like to think it does, because you want to have some kind of semblance of control or whatever, in not just in your life but in everybody's life. So when you have this kind of mindset, then you are very determined to figure out whether it is determinism or free will. But yeah, we'll go into it, and hopefully by the end of this couple of minutes it should make perfect sense. So if he says, oh, that makes sense regarding the D word on your title. Yes, determinism. It just means that it's already determined. It's already been decided. We could call it decidedism, if that helps you. So here we go. All right, let's start off. Ooh, yeah, let's do it this way. Let's start it off like this. Okay, this is you. Okay, that is you. You are a seed. Some would say a mustard seed, but that is you. You are a seed. Okay, now you are born let me just move that lower. There we go. You are born. That line coming out, the seed starting to grow, is you being born from the seed. Okay. Now, something happens in your life when you're a child. All of a sudden, your path splits up. Now there's a version of you that goes one way and a version of you that goes the opposite way. Now, for example, if I was to say, pick a color, red or blue. If you chose red, there's a reality out there where you chose blue. Or if you chose blue, there's a reality out there that you chose red. Because every option branches off. Okay? And hopefully that little clue should clue you in as to where we're going with this. So there's your first branch. Then more life stuff happens. And more life stuff happens. And more life stuff happens. And before you know it, that original choice that was made has led to either this side of the branch or on that side of the branch. You can see that, right? You can see how that one choice then led to two separate branches that you could possibly go down. Two potential routes where your life could have gone. Okay? Now, as we keep going with this, we understand that God is outside of time and space. By saying we understand, I mean by intellectually. No one's proven it, but intellectually we agree that if God does exist, he's outside time and space. So if God is outside time and space, and sorry, I'm just making this a very nice, pretty tree for you. So it's nice and complicated. So it looks like a tree, hence why the tree of life. Okay, this is where the tree of life comes from. So essentially, if God is looking at your timeline from your one seed, from that one life you started with, to all the different branches of choices you made, God can see that if you make this choice, this choice, you'll end up over here. You know what I mean? He can see that. So it's not that. So when people are like, you end up over here, because he knows that the choices that you're making are going to lead you to this direction here. Or you might be making choices where you end up over there at the top of the tree. You know what I mean? So depending on your choices, this is where free will comes in. This is where God gives you free will. He allows you to do what the hell you like, because what he's going to do at the end of it is he's going to look at the tree and he's going to go, oh, there's a good fruit up on the top branch here, but there's a bad fruit down here. Let's get rid of that branch. That's a bad fruit because it doesn't serve anyone. And let's take this good fruit, this good branch that produces lots of fruit. By fruit, I mean like good qualities: truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, and hope, and all these other good things. So this is where I think I've heard Gospel drop a Bible verse in the chat previously in regards to something about Jesus or God basically cutting the good branches and sticking them onto the good trees, like connecting the good branches to the good trees. So essentially, what I think that means is that when God does this whole pruning thing, when he does the pruning business of getting rid of all the bad timelines, the timeline where you're your best self is the one that gets saved, because that's the one that's provided the fruit. Okay? That's provided fruit. So that one gets chopped off and it gets attached to the tree of life, or God, or the eternal life, or the heaven, or whatever you want to, whatever crazy word you want to put into it to understand that bit better. That's exactly where you'll end up. So this is why, this is where it's going to get a little bit deep. This is why I am saying you need to go down the righteous path, because the righteous path would essentially be the straight line, rather than going off on all these branches that end up nowhere. You want to end up on that straight path. It's going to be a lot harder. There will be situations where it's not going to be a straight line. There will be branches as well, but it will be a tougher journey because it's going upwards. It's growing as high as it can. It's not going sideways. It's not just staying where it is. It's going up. It's growing as high as possible to get the most light, to make the best fruit, to essentially then be all good in the hood. So that is where free will and determinism comes in, because when God is looking at it from an external viewpoint, where he's seeing everything in its entirety, like the tree of life in its entirety, he can see that you and your life has split up into, say, 72 billion branches, but he can see every single 72 billion branches, and he knows where each one will end up because you've made the choices, and he can see where it's ended up. Not that he's controlling where you end up, but he's allowing you to make your free will, use your free will to make the choices to end up where you end up. Here's a kicker. So if you choose the righteous path, truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, one of the parts of that is what I've said in previous conversations with Muslims. When Muslims ask me if I'm Muslim, I say I'm not Muslim by your standard, by reading the Quran and all that jazz. I am Muslim in the sense that I have submitted my will to God. Now, what that means is that essentially my life started off with branches, like so many different branches. My life started off like that, just like everyone else's life. But at a point, I decided that my will wasn't important anymore. Sorry, just get that in focus. My will wasn't important anymore. Because my will wasn't important anymore, and it's up to God what happened, now the branch that on the branch there, let's say it was on this branch here, that particular branch there is where I made that choice. On all the other branches, I did not make this choice. I did not choose to give my will to God. I chose to, my will, I want what I want on all the other branches. But on this particular branch, I chose to give up my will to God and say, God, I trust you 100%. Do what you will. I trust you're going to lead me somewhere good. That is what leads you to the top of the tree. That's when God is guiding you. That is when God is in control of your life. That's because you've given him control. Not he's taken it. Not that he's pretended to give you free will and then he's chosen where you're going to. No. He's given you free will to make the choices you want. But if you give up your free will to him, he'll lead you. It'll be hard. It'll be tough. But he would lead you to freedom. To freedom. Because that's what life is all about. Being as free as possible. You know, God did not give us this life to be subjugated. We give our will up to God, not to be subjugated, but to be freed from our subjugation of our fears. Okay? Our fears, we tend to let them control us. That's why I say with the righteous path, it's more hope. With the worldly path or the whatever negative path I call it, or negative spiral, that would be fear. So hope and fear, these are the two things. And this is why I say every choice you make, choose hope. Because if you choose hope, you should hopefully be making good branches that are getting you higher and higher and higher. But to get the full benefit of the freedom that God can give you, you have to give him your will. You have to submit your will to him and say, do you know what, God, I trust you 100%. And at that point, that's when things will get tougher, but you'll start skyrocketing. That's when God just takes you next level. Like, honestly, if I look back at my life and I think about some of the things that I've been through, and I'm not fazed by it. It is what it is. It's something that happened in life. It's something I learned from. It's something I grew from. At the time, at the situation, when the situation was happening, I was probably feeling a lot of more emotions. I was probably a bit more not crazy, but a bit more hysterical or emotional in regards to the situation. But as I would have given it time and I learned my lessons, I can look back on it and there is no pain. There's pain if I'm remembering the emotions, because if I have to remember the emotions, I'm remembering the pain. But if I'm just telling the story, I will tell it as it is. I won't try and make myself look bigger or better. If I was a dick, I will tell you I was a dick. I will be as honest as I can, because it is what got me where I am. You can't have regrets in regards to life and history. It's got to where you are. It's got you to where you are. It's given you the understanding you have now. So even if you started off your branches and you was going sideways for such a long time, say you were going sideways for such a long time, honestly, just that one decision, trust God, give him your will, and he would magically, because he's got the ability, he can do whatever he likes. He can take you to where you should be rather than where you thought you wanted to be. You know what I mean? Because we could all say, like, if you ask a kid, oh, what do you want for Christmas? They'll give you a list of all these things. And then when you ask them as an adult, you ask them what they want for Christmas, it's a completely different list. Why? Because they've grown up. They've got a new understanding of life. They've got a new appreciation of certain things. As we learn and grow, we change. Change is a natural aspect of life. It's just whether are you fighting that change, or are you going with the change? Are you going to grow with it, or are you going to fight it and try and hold it back? But you can never hold back change. Change is always going to happen. Okay, no 2 days are the same. Even the weather's never the same. Even though, like, you can say, oh yeah, it was like 16 degrees in England 10 years ago, it's the same. No, if you look at the different parts of England, that the temperatures, if you look at the wind directions, if you all the aspects of the weather, you go, oh, okay, yeah. If I look at one tiny aspect, yeah, it's the same. It hasn't changed. But if I actually look at the bigger picture, no, it has changed. It's evolved, and that's the same thing as life. You've got to evolve. You've got to change. You've got to grow. It's this, along with death, it's the only other guarantee in life. You got two guarantees: death and change. It's just whether you fight that change, and if you fight that change, you're trying to basically swim against the current. You'll get shattered. You'll tire yourself out. You'll use up all your energy. You grow old very quickly. You'll have health issues, and then before you know it, you're being carried by the waves to wherever. So yeah, try and go with the flow a bit of life. Change is always going to happen. Just be ready to accept that change within yourself. I know change is never easy. Like I said, back when all these things were happening in my life, I was probably crying about it as well. I was probably complaining about it. But I did have that hope. Like I said, hope and fear. I had the hope. I chose hope. I chose that path. I said, no, this is happening for a reason. I don't understand it yet, but God will give me the understanding when I'm ready for it. And I just trust him 100%. And I just keep going. And that's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to focus on hope. Focus on the fact that it's not about your will. You can never make anything happen. You might make little things happen in life, but to make your dreams come true, that's God. That's God. It's always God. This is why when you watch all these musicians, these movie people, when they go up on stage, who do they thank? They thank God. You could say maybe it's just because they have to, but there's some people who don't. There's Ricky Gervais who goes on and cusses God, So it's not just a cultural thing. It's because people are really grateful to God for what he's done for them, because they may have given up some kind of will of their own. I think Keanu Reeves might be a good example of this. I don't know him personally, obviously. I only know what media says, but from what I can see, he seems like someone who doesn't really give too much attention to the limelight. Yes, he's famous. Yes, he's done some great movies, but he's very generous. He's done a lot of charity work. He seems like a chill and humble guy. It seems like he's done some work on himself in regards to all of this stuff. Oh, wow. There's quite a few chats here. Let's have a quick read. Oh, wow. So he says yellow. Matrix pills. Why did I say yellow? I don't remember. So he says, but D, sometimes the lower branches can make good fruits too. It doesn't matter how high you are on the tree, right? I might be wrong. No, for sure. I just said the height thing just to give it one dimension, but yes, you're right. The branches that are closest, that are bunched up together, they won't make great fruit. But the branch that goes out beyond that branch, the one that grows the most, the furthest. So yes, it doesn't just have to be up, but it's just literally just means whoever grows the furthest beyond the other branches will get the most light and will produce good fruit. So yes, you can go sideways, but as long as you outgrow, that's the key thing. You have to keep growing. You have to outgrow all the others branches in the way, because if you don't, then they'll have the good fruit. And then, yeah, as we explained, your branch gets trimmed but not kept. And I think everyone would like their branch to be kept. Shivas is here. Welcome back. Big up. Shiva says yes, tree of life. Suvi says I want to be a blossom tree or cherry tree. Yes, blossom tree is called sakura. I like the name sakura. Yeah, sakura blossom trees, or a cherry tree. Shiva says Doctor Strange. Yes, with the timelines, with the multiverse. So this is another thing. There's hints in. It's not the full understanding, but you get hints of it in popular culture. Like you said, Doctor Strange talks about the multiverse. There's Loki. Don't know if you guys watched it. It's a really good show. Loki is about timelines again and the branches. But that doesn't go into it like this. That's just more about, this is the timeline. And when someone does something that they're not supposed to do, it branches off. So according to Loki, branches are a bad thing because they're off the main timeline. But like I said, it's not about being on the main timeline. It's about making the right choices. It's about making the right choices so that the version of you in that timeline is the one that's making the best choices for your growth, for you to be, free. Okay, where are we? Other questions? Suvi says, "Oh, this is hard." Yeah, this is why I've been waiting a while to go into this. I didn't want to do this one too early because I wanted people to get some practice on the righteous path first. Because obviously, if I'm saying to someone, "Hey, listen, make a good choice, or there's a chance that your branch will get trimmed and you'll disappear forever," it sounds like fear, and I don't want to scare people into making this choice. I want them to go, no, not fear, hope. You're meant to look at this and understand hope, because essentially what can happen, this is the amazing thing with God is amazing. Let's say that one seed has a ton of people, like right from the beginning. So let's say this is Jesus, okay? Let's say this is Jesus. At the beginning, as soon as he's born, he's already like fully figured everything out. So no matter what choice he makes, he would still be living by the righteous path because he was born with it. He had a full innate understanding of the righteous path. So when Jesus was born, every decision he made was good, but it still branches off. Like I said, a branch, like Loki says, a branch is a bad thing. It means someone's done something they're not supposed to do. That's not what branch is. Branch is that a choice was made. Whether you had the chicken or the fish, whether you drank water or a Coke can, simple choices, but each one branches off. So essentially, Jesus could have made a billion trillion different branches, okay, where each one produced good fruit. There was not a single branch on that Jesus tree that had bad fruit. So therefore, the entire tree is saved. And what then happens is that when, say, in your timeline, you go down the righteous path and you get to the tree fruit situation, your branch would be essentially added on to the Jesus tree. and then you'd live on forever there because it's a tree of good fruit. So I'm hoping this is making a bit of sense for you guys. I may be going a bit too esoteric with the whole Jesus situation but it's just to help you understand that there isn't I've made all these bad choices in my life, that's it, I'm not on the good path, I'm not on the good branch, I'm going to disappear forever. That's the fair talking. That's fair talking, okay? That's the fair talking, a scared of change. No, look at the hope. Like I said, even if that branch is going sideways and it's a little bit bent downwards, if it keeps growing far enough, it will get to the light. It's just whether it chooses to fight the change. If it decides to fight the change, it will stay short and stumpy. It won't reach the sunlight. It won't reach outside the branches, and it will be bad fruit. Or you could push for the growth, push through the branches, push through into the light, and then boom. And like I said, you could have multiple good fruits on one tree. Just because you have one good fruit doesn't mean that the rest of the tree is firewood. No, it means that all the good fruits will be saved. All the good fruits, all the good branches, the fruit-bearing branches. I think that's what the Jesus verse was. It was like I want to say it was a wine branch, a grape branch, grape. I don't know. I can't remember. So he says, give me an example of free will and giving your will to God so I understand. Okay. Free will is essentially... Okay. So say someone does something bad to you. Okay. If someone does something bad to you, you have a choice. I could respond with fear, anger, attachment, pride, and go down that route. Or I could choose truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, hope. So when someone does something bad to me, I could go, oh, me need to get this person back for what they've done. If I do that, at that point, I've done something bad, and there will be negative consequences for me choosing to do this, because it's a choice. Everything's a choice. I chose to do this. The version of me that didn't choose to do this, the version of me that chose, actually, do you know what? I don't like what they did. I'm upset what they did, but it's not up to me to punish them. I don't know the full details. I trust God to balance out the sheet. I trust God to, if this was something that I needed to pay back, it's paid back. If it's something that they need to be punished for, God will punish them. And then at that point, I've given my will, my ego of, oh, I need to get revenge, I need to do this to this person. I've given that to God and said, no, God, it's on you. I trust you. My will is your will. Well, not my will is your will, but I give my will to you to do as you please because I trust you. And that would be the situation of free will and giving your will to God. I hope that helped you understand this. J-Fu says, lead to freedom, so you admit to be in slavery. Who put you in slavery? You are a slave to your own desires, meaning that when you are led by the dark side, the shadow side, without understanding the light, you've only understood half of yourself. If you've only understood half of yourself, and you don't have an ability to then go into the light, you have then become a slave to the darkness. But there is a way to break out of the darkness, which is the light. Once you get to the light, you could then illuminate all the darkness and then realize that freedom is God-given, not man-made. We don't make freedom. Okay, so yeah. And who put you in slavery? It's your choices. It's your choices, like I said. Someone's not paying attention, are they? Someone's going to fail the end of class tests. I see, J-Fu. So like I said, it's free will. It's free will. Did you choose the path of hope? Or did you choose the path of fear? Here we go. Just so you understand, because going by Jay Fu's question, he still doesn't understand. So that would be the choice you have to make. So who put you in slavery? You did. You put yourself in slavery. But God can get you out. You have the choice to get God to get you out. Okay? God's not going to do it against your will. He will give you the choice. If you choose hope and freedom, he'll help you out. If you choose fear and slavery, that's your choice to make. Suvi says, what about the will to fight challenges? You're doing it right. You're not doing it right, not your God. I might be confusing myself. I think I'm confused by that question. Excuse me. What about the will to fight challenges? No, fighting challenges are... So challenges are twofold. Oh. 1 second. Oh, actually, I should have left that. That was actually perfect. I just rubbed it out for no reason. All right, so challenges are... All right, let's go that way, and that way, and then that way, and that way, that way, and that way. Cool. So, like I said, you could choose fear or hope, and then if you choose fear, what would happen is you've let your ego control it. You've let your ego control the situation, and any challenges that are along your path are both challenges and karma. So if that first initial choice there was, I'm going to get revenge on someone, then as you go further up here, you're going to have challenges that you need to overcome because you need to grow, but you'll also have karma, things that because you made that choice here, you need to pay for that in some way or form. It's the way energy works. Is not natural, law of equivalent exchange. If you put something bad out into the world, something bad will come back to you. If you put something good out into the world, something good will come back to you. So yeah, so when you have that fair choice, that will lead to karma and challenges. Challenges are to grow from, karma is to understand. If you choose hope, then you get dharma, which is good actions. And because you're putting out good actions, you should get some good actions back to you. And eventually, you still have challenges that you grow from, but the challenges won't be so bad because you're learning from them. You know what I mean? So if you were to put every single challenge you ever faced in life into one day, that would be a really bad day. That would be a really bad day. But God, he's kind to us. He spreads it out as much as possible. Now, there's sometimes that we don't learn the lesson the first time. So he brings that lesson back around again until we learn it. If we don't learn it, he'll bring it back around again. So if you're putting off working on these challenges and growing, what tends to happen is, like I said, it all builds up in the tank and then it explodes in one big moment, and then that's when people go into midlife crisis or whatever situation because they've never done the work. But if you do the work slowly, consistently, every single day, you're getting there. So this is why I say don't rush either. This is why I say don't rush, because if you rush, if you think you could rush to the finish line, you'll only hurt yourself. Okay, there's no way to get to the top of the tree if you're a branch this small. Okay, it's just, yeah, no point. You need to make sure you do the growth and make sure you take your time, patience, and you push yourself to growth. So he says, otherwise you could just sit back and people walk all over you and let your God do his thing. See, this is the thing though. I've done that. And a lot of people will look at me and go, what? Like, what? Why would you willingly put yourself through that? Because I learned so much. I learned so much about people, about their motivations in certain situations. I learned about how to deal with my own reactions in these situations. There's situations where I'll see someone doing something. I'll say something to them. Now, they flat out deny it. but I just saw them, but they're flat out denying it. I could stand there and argue with them and what, but at some point I just got to go, cool. Thanks for letting me know what you think. But at the same time, I will then walk away. I will know that this person is someone I don't want to have follow-up interactions with because of this situation that happened in the past. So this is why you learn. This is how you learn. It's never about letting it get personal. You don't want the situation to be personal. It's not, you're letting people walk all over you. You're just a doormat. You're this. No. They think that they're walking over me to get one over me. I'm letting them walk over me because I am getting to learn something. God is giving me some kind of insight into life here. So I will take that with the grace that God has given it with. You know what I mean? So you could use the ego and go, oh, I'm not letting anyone walk all over me. Or you could go, actually, do you know what? Let's start looking at each other like human beings. Let's not identify ourselves as the ego. Let's identify everyone else as a part of God. I hope this is making sense for you guys. Shiva says, Godhead doesn't want you to submit. It wants you to demodulize of the soul. Demodulize. He wants you to split your soul up into the light and dark. Or the, what do you say? The magnetism and dielectricity is your wording, I think. So if he says, I get you. Oh my God, I'm so far behind on the messages. Let me just, where was I? Yeah, there I go. So he says, I don't like my routines being changed, but I think it's because of my anxiety, so I fear it. Yes. And if you fear it because of your anxiety, it increases your anxiety, which increases your fear, which increases your anxiety, which increases your fear, which increases your... It's a no-win situation when you let fear take over. If you have anxiety, but you have hope, there's no cycle. It's not feeding itself into growing bigger. If you have anxiety and you have hope, then hope should start dispelling the anxiety and let it go down. So he says, especially at work, Shiva says, everything in this realm is temporal, magnetic, even this universe. Yes, it is, but that... everything is temporal, meaning that it's all within time. Yes, agree with that. No issues with that. But there is metaphysics in life as well, where metaphysics can affect the physical. So yes, this realm is physical and is temporal, but it can be affected by the metaphysical and allow it to be something different to what it can be, essentially. So yeah, but I don't know why you're making that point, but thanks for sharing. So he says, oh yes, Reeves is really nice. His wife and daughter passed away. I don't know who Reeves is. Did I say something about Reeves? Shiva says it's illumination, not light. Okay. I think that Shiva, I don't understand why it's a big deal. Like, if you could explain why it's a big deal to say illumination, not light. Oh, you're just gonna go with the... It's not a light emitting. It's light being perceived or something. You that's too far in the weeds for me, bro. I don't know. I don't care. That stuff is like... You're going into like really deep esoteric stuff that isn't going to affect your daily life. Like I said, with this conversation we're having right now with the whole free will, determinism, the tree of life, it's about getting people to stop arguing about, oh no, free will, oh no, we have no choice, God's already decided. It's to stop that argument, and it's to give people an understanding of how much choice they have in their life, how much power they have in their choices, and how much they give it away to fear and to choose hope. But if you think that telling us it's illumination, not light, helps, I guess, good, thanks. But yeah, it didn't help me. I don't know. It just confused me. I wasted a few minutes on the thing. But thank you. I appreciate your comments normally, but I just don't get what that one's about, bro. Sylvia Wonderland says, what about confronting the bad person? Does that make you bad? no, confronting a bad person. Obviously, if you say to them, listen, I don't appreciate this, I don't like this, I don't like that, that's not you being bad. That's you being honest. That's you telling the truth. Truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility. Boom. You're part of good choices. However, it depends on how you tell them that truth. Do you tell them with compassion or do you tell them with anger? That's the question. If you tell them with anger, then you've chosen your ego and you've chosen the selfish way. If you've chosen compassion and gone, hey, I make mistakes. If I made a mistake like this and someone was having a go at me and I honestly didn't mean to make that mistake, I'd feel pretty bad. Maybe not, but we live on hope. We don't live on fear. Maybe this person has this in their life. I will treat them with compassion. Even if they're not going to treat you with compassion, I choose to be that way. Regardless of how you act or how you behave, I choose to choose compassion. So that would be the situation in regards to dealing with someone bad. Because bad is always a perception thing. We're always a villain in someone else's story. Where was I? Oh, here we go. You mean karma? Leave it to karma. Yes. You could say leave it to karma, but who's in charge of karma? God. It's just, instead of saying just leave it to the universe to punish them, instead of saying it that way, because that's what people typically use karma as. Instead of just saying, I'll leave the universe to punish them, karma is more about, saying leave it to God is more about saying, I trust God's judgment. Because the thing is, if you say to yourself, say someone does something bad to you and you go, do you know what? Karma will get them. And they have a really good life and nothing bad ever happens to them. You're going to feel some way. You're going to feel really bad. You're going to be like, oh, they did this thing to me and they never have got any kind of bad thing happen to them. Life isn't fair, blah, blah. No, you see what I mean? Straight from the ego. It's me. When you give it to God, when you say, God, your judgment, if nothing bad ever happens to that person, you just accept it. You say, well, I guess I deserve that. I must have done something in a past life, or I must have done something in a previous choice I made, which hurt someone else. And this was my return to sender. This was it being sent back to me because I put this out into the universe. God's decision, and I trust it. And then that way you let go of that anger, you let go of that ego. You're not looking out to see whether they got punished or not. You're not like, if someone did say, oh, this person's going through some bad stuff, you're not going, yes, they did this one thing to me once upon a time and I'm so glad they got. You're not doing any of that. You're just like, it's a shame, but I hope they get through it, because you've let go of that resentment, that anger, or whatever the thing was that you thought that person deserved karma for. So he says, I hung egg condoms onto the front garden of my friend's goose and gates. I'm gonna get karma. That's a practical joke. I hope it wasn't done in an evil way, but if it's a practical joke, practical jokes are fine. Like I said, intent behind the choices matters. Okay, the intent behind the choices matters. Oh, maybe I already got the cut. Oh, yeah, you maybe already got it back already. I was in high school. Okay, also ketchup. I'm a bad fruit. Get the holy water out. I don't think the holy water is going to help you out. Purify me. Okay, this happened to me at work today. Actually, I'll tell you face to face. Two things happened. One being my colleague, an elderly woman kissed me on the forehead and made me cry because she appreciated me helping her a day before. See, that's amazing. I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing that, Suvi. Oh, that's amazing. That's so cute. See how simple a little bit of appreciation can go. We're just us. We're just as human beings. Imagine God, who's been doing all this magnificent stuff for us, providing all this beautiful life and experiences and joy and sadness and the beautiful ride of it all. And no one ever says thank you. Say thank you to God. Say thank you to God. Say thank you for my family. Thank you for my health. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Whatever you have in life right now that you could lose tomorrow, thank God for it. Thank God for it. Appreciate what you have. And then another colleague knows I don't like being hugged, touched. Said it's because she touched me. I said, no, it's because she meant the kiss. It was authentic. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. There was true love there. There was like respect. The love, respect. It wasn't like she was trying to get anything out of you. She wasn't trying to sweeten you up for anything. It was truly because she was thankful for your help and she wanted to show you. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Susie. Appreciate that. Yes, 100%. Awesome. Yes, so that's pretty much it for the chat tonight. It was literally just about the tree of life, the free will versus determinism. Just wanted to remind you, like I always do, you've got choices in life. Personally, I say the best choice is the righteous path: truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, and hope. And avoid lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and fear. Hope over fear every time. Okay? Hope over fear every time. I hope you guys have an amazing evening. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully I might do a stream tomorrow. I've got a video I might upload either tonight or early tomorrow morning, so look out for that. Susie says thanks for the stream, D. No, thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you all. Hope you guys have a great evening. Like I said, thanks all for joining in. Appreciate you all. Love you all. I am the dust at the feet of God's servants. Only God is special. Thank you all. Goodbye all. Bye-bye.
I never walked alone, God by my side. Through the valleys of shadow, he's my guide. When the road gets rough and the nights get cold, his love lights the way, worth more than gold. I hear his voice in the wind, his touch in the rain, healing every heartache, erasing the pain. Step by step, I'm walking in his grace. With love in my heart, I'm running this race. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. To the weary and lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of life. Let's spread this love, let's make it known. In God's embrace, we're never alone. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. Stronger together, united in his name. Walking in love through joy and pain. Every step is a prayer, every path a song. With God in our hearts, we can't go wrong. Let the world see the light that we carry inside. A flame that won't falter with him as our guide. So lift your voice, let's call them home. No one should ever have to walk alone. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. To the weary and lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of light. Let's spread this love, let's make it known. In God's embrace, we're never alone. To the weary and lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of light. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife. For real, you always keep him on your mind. Are you ready to move, to walk in the truth, to trade in the lies for eternal proof? Open your heart, let his love ignite, and walk in his glory, bathed in his light. We're calling the nations, we're calling the lost, to walk in his footsteps, whatever the cost. With love in your heart and God in your mind, you'll see the peace that the world can't find. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. So take that step, don't hesitate. With God by your side, your future's great. We're walking together, his love our song. Forever with God, where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. We all belong. With God in our hearts, we can't go wrong. Look, God in our hearts, we can't go wrong.